okay.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Meet Your Future campaign. My name's Sophie Hope, and I'm part of the Greater Manchester team at the Bridge GM team at the Greater Manchester Combined Authority. Meet Your Future was launched in April 2019 to enable more young people like you to meet with and have a meaningful conversation with employers whilst experiencing different workplaces. Over the past 12 months, we've been speaking with young people from all 10 boroughs of Greater Manchester to find out how you are feeling, how you feel you should be supported now and into your future. We've been listening and we've learnt a lot. We've developed a suite of information, resources and services that are there to help you. These can all be found on GMAX. I'll pop the link to GMAX in the chat. Many of you will already be familiar with this, but if not, please speak to your teacher to find out more. We've adapted the Meet Your Future campaign this year to better fit what you have been telling us. Throughout this academic year, you'll be able to join sessions and chat with Greater Manchester and national employers about growth sectors across Greater Manchester, different pathways and the vast array of careers and opportunities that are available to you in the future and right here in Greater Manchester. In this session, you will hear from the Growth Company. Hopefully, it will help inform you, inspire you and show you why you should be hopeful and optimistic about your future in Greater Manchester. Throughout the session, please make use of the question box and we'll cover these in the Q&A section. I'm now delighted to introduce to your speakers for today. We have Ian Logan and Javeria Keum, and I think we have an additional speaker, Hannah, alongside Ian and Javeria. So I'm going to hand over to Javeria first, and she'll talk you through the slides.
Thank you, Sophie. Hi guys, my name is Javeria. I'm from the Growth Company and I am going to be taking you through a very sort of brief presentation today, just explaining a little bit about how we apply for an apprenticeship and how we as a training provider can support you. I have got my colleagues Harriet, who is a business advisor, and my colleague Ian, who will also be explaining sort of a little bit about what they do and how they're supporting me today. So I'm going to quickly pass you over to Harriet. And then if you can pass over to Ian and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Of course. Hi, I'm Harriet. I work as a business advisor within the Growth Company. So my main role is to look for companies who are interested in taking on new apprentices and to try and get them to work happily with us. We can give you a full rundown of the companies we work with. And we work alongside yourselves as well, the students, to make sure that it's the right fit for you and that the company and you work well together. Ian, I'll pass over to you now, if that's okay.
Thanks, Harriet. My name's Ian Logan. I work for the Growth Company as well, but I'm on the National Career Service team, and we obviously help people to make the most of their future. Young people under the age of 18 can access us online. Just Google National Career Service, or there's a free phone helpline 0800 100 900. I'll put the number in the chat, and I'll be mentioning about apprenticeships. The Growth Company aren't the only apprentice provider in Greater Manchester. There are a number of others, but the Growth Company is the largest apprenticeship provider in Greater Manchester, and obviously as I'm employed by them, I'd have to say they're the best. But Javeria is going to explain all about that now, so I'll hand back to her.
Thank you, Ian. So yeah, guys, just to obviously go through a bit of a revision session of what we covered in yesterday's presentation. If you do want to go back and watch that, please do reach out to your teachers and the schools, and I'm sure they'll have a copy of the presentation as well. So this is like a bit of a follow-up. So yesterday we explained what an apprenticeship actually is in terms of what it involves, salaries, you know, how it works with employers, etc., and how we support you. We also went through the sectors in terms of what sector we cover, what subjects we cover. We have 10 training centres around Greater Manchester, which we spoke about yesterday, over 2,500 employer links. We went through some examples of apprenticeships as well, which we'll also be doing today. And obviously we went through like the levels of what an apprenticeship is and what's the equivalent to. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so applying for an apprenticeship. It's important that we take these things into consideration when we're applying for an apprenticeship. Normally for a college and university application, you wouldn't really need a CV for an apprenticeship, you do need a CV. It's a real job, it's a real employer, it's a real life experience, okay? So we do obviously need a well-written CV, and we can support you with that. Excuse me. You can get support from your careers advisors, your parents, carers, whoever you stay with at home, any elder siblings that you may have that may be in the job. You need to observe and understand the vacancy and the job specification. So when you're looking at that apprenticeship and you're applying, you need to have a look at the roles, the responsibilities, the location, the salary, how you'd get there. So all these things sort of come into consideration automatically once you've viewed that apprenticeship and you know it's something you want to do and what qualification you're going to achieve at the end of it, and what that qualification is going to then help you to do in terms of next steps. So it's important that you do a lot of research. You're looking at the career opportunities, you're looking at what sector you want to go into, future job opportunities, what level of qualification it is, etc. And making your CV relevant to the vacancy that you're applying for, being clear and concise, and structuring your CV as well in the right order, making it, you know, stand out to the employer, to the reader. So they want to see it, they want to read it, and they want to get you in for that interview. Okay, so that's the first step that we need to be looking at. If we want to apply for an apprenticeship, we need a well-written, good CV. Okay, and we're going to go through examples of CVs as well today, so don't worry too much. Next slide, please, Sophie. Thank you. So these are just some CV tips and techniques. Okay, so on the left we've got basically the format of some examples of what the CV should involve. Okay, so it's got to be quite structured. Okay, and what I mean in terms of that is that obviously you know your subheadings, the fonts all got to be the right size, the line spacing and things like that. And a lot of these things, a lot of these skills you use through Word documents at schools and in your IT lessons. You might be making a presentation sometimes, you might be writing a letter. You sort of learn this throughout school, so don't worry if it's feeling a bit, I don't know how to make my CV. The examples of fonts obviously are Times New Roman, Calibri and Arial. They're the ones that you'd normally use. Obviously one font throughout the whole CV. Size obviously 11-12 is normally the the basic size that we use. And obviously subheadings that are going to be bold, underlined, however you want them to stand out. And then using relevant keywords throughout the CV to keep the reader engaged. So if you're applying for an automotive or an accountant apprenticeship or a business apprenticeship, look at the job of what the apprenticeship is saying, look at the skills and the qualifications it's requiring you to have, and focus on them keywords throughout your CV. Okay, and then obviously use relevant examples as well. Examples are always really good to use in CVs because the reader wants to see, the employer wants to see when you have been in that situation that you've had to use that skill set. And then on the right we've got obviously just including in this sort of order. It don't have to be this order, but this is sort of like a very clear order. It's your full name, obviously. It's not your full address, it's just the location. We avoid putting full addresses on only because your CV is going out onto job pages, onto websites, to employers. You don't want everyone having your full address, so you just put your location in terms of Manchester or Bolton, Rochdale, Wigan, wherever you are from. Contact details, I always say one mobile number and an email address, just in case they can't get hold of you. Profile is normally a small paragraph, just introducing yourself, maybe 3 or 4 lines. You'd go through, you'd have a skills section, and again you'd relate that to the job specification. So the skills that the employer was requiring from you to have in that job, you'd relate your skills to that. Work experience, obviously that whatever's relevant, you put that in. Education, again, you start from the most recent when you're listing it. Qualifications and achievements, again, you list it from the most recent downwards. And then hobbies and interests, why they're relevant to the vacancies you're applying for, etc. References, we normally say maximum, like minimum 2 even. You can, obviously, if you're leaving school, you might not have more than 2 references, so you could have your tutor, maybe your year 10, year 11 tutor, and a character reference. They can normally vouch for you in that sense and talk about your attendance, your character, your personality, how you was at school, how you are just as a outside of school kind of thing. And they normally, employers are normally happy to take them. So yeah, next slide please. So we're just going to show an example CV now. It is very basic, obviously we're not going to read through the whole thing. These presentations are going to be uploaded on the website as well, so you can always go back and have a look. So I'm just going to, if we could just get that open please. Okay guys, so we can see obviously there's not obviously a real name on there or a real location, but that's basically a little bit of the format and how structured it's got to look. Okay, you can see the personal summary section is, again, it's just a few lines, it's not too wordy. Education, again, instead of listing it, they've put it in a paragraph. You've got the qualifications listed from the most recent going down, and then obviously we've got the GCSE grades as well. Then we've got the work experience underneath, and then we go on to, I think it's the next page, and then we go to, obviously, so this is an engineering CV, so he or she has spoken about the engineering experience, examples and things like that that they've put in for the employer to look at and have a read about. Then we've got the hobbies, finishing off nice and sort of, you know, warm. After the hobbies, we've then got the references. So in terms of that, even though they've not put like a subheading of skills, they've spoken through like about their skills throughout the engineering experience, throughout the hobbies, and etc, etc. So don't worry too much if you're thinking, I don't know what to put in each section, you know, just start by sort of making the subheadings, formatting it correctly, making sure the word and everything's correct, and then obviously start by putting your information in, and it will just come naturally. Like I said, you can always ask us for support. We will always help you put your CV together if you signed up with us for an apprenticeship, and your careers advisors and your parents, siblings, etc, whoever you stay with. So that's a very good example of a CV for a school leaver. So definitely have a look at that if you do get a chance, guys. Can we go back to the presentation, please? Thank you. So just on the next slide, which is examples of apprenticeships that we currently are recruiting for. Okay, so we do different sectors. We do the professional sector, we do business, admin, accounting, we do engineering, automotive, which comes under the technical sector, plastering, construction, and then obviously we've got the education and teaching sector as well, the care sector, sorry. So it's just, we're quite, you know, wide in terms of sectors and what, you know, what apprenticeships we offer. Like Ian mentioned at the beginning, we are the biggest apprenticeship provider. We've got over 2,500 employer links around Greater Manchester, Wigan and St Helens, so we support students like yourselves to get onto them apprenticeships with the employers. Okay, so these are just a few examples. So say you wanted to go into business, you wanted to do something, you know, relevant to business, college wasn't really for you, you wanted to do more of a practical route. This is an example apprenticeship, so it's an assistant data specialist apprentice. It's the first row we're looking at. That's the name of the employer's ethos, and the salary is around £12,000 per year, and it starts at an advanced level, which is a level 3, sorry, which is an advanced level, and the duration is 18 months. Okay, and so on. We sort of go down. So we've got the accounts apprentice. If you're interested in accounting, becoming an accountant. It's working for UK Skills Academy. Again, you start at £12,000 per year. It starts at a level 3, and that's 18 months. And then we've got automotive. So if you're interested in working with cars, you want the sort of the practical experience, you want to go into mechanics. Then we've got the heavy vehicle service and maintenance technician apprentice, which is currently available. It's for T-Hill Transport, £9,000 per year. And again, that starts at a level 3, which is an advanced level, and it's 36 months. And you'd go on to your level 4, 5, and so on. We've got the care and education sector, which is going into childcare, maybe working with, that would basically train you to be like a childcare practitioner, so like a nursery nurse. You can obviously then go into your teaching and so on and do your primary and your secondary, however you want to do it. But the start, obviously the foundation would be the childcare course that you would do, and that's £9,000 per year. That's an intermediate level 2, and that's 12 months. Sometimes if you've got your GCSEs and maybe, you know, a few weeks of work experience, even volunteering, you can go on straight onto a level 3 as well. Technical engineering, you've got the mechanical manufacturer apprentice with Talkington engineers, and that's £13,000 per year. Against that, again, that starts at a level 3, which is an advanced level, and it's 36 months. Okay, Harriet, is there anything you'd like to add in that one for that slide? Sorry.
No, I think you've covered everything in that slide. Thank you.
Brilliant. So in terms of like the salaries as well, guys, that does go up. It just depends on, obviously, when you're starting, depends on the location, it depends on what level you're starting at as well. Roughly level 3s for them sectors start on them sort of salaries. Like I said, you can jump straight from a level 2 to a level 3, and then sometimes even from a level 3 to a 4, 5 and 6 and so on, and work your way up to still get that degree, but through an apprenticeship. Okay, next slide please. Thank you. So these are some employers, well, these are all the employers, and well, some of them, sorry, that we work with, that we send our students to, that our apprentices are currently under. So some of them names might pop out to you. Make a note of it if you want to, and then obviously the rest of our employers that we work with are on our website as well. So it just says a few facts on the side. So 2,700 pre-apprenticeships, that's the programme that we offer if you didn't get to the apprenticeship straight away. Say you didn't have the correct qualification or the experience, or you needed that maths and English and you didn't quite get it. We can then obviously put you onto a study programme or a traineeship or a pre-apprenticeship and then prepare you for that apprenticeship. We don't just turn you away, we still support you. We help you do your maths and English again in that year, get you the relevant work experience, prep you, do your CV with you, your employability, other skills that you may need, and then we prepare you for the apprenticeship for the following year. 1,700 apprenticeships and 2,500 employer contacts and links that we've got around the Greater Manchester area. Next link, please. So this is basically just a quick sort of, it is quite quick, it's just basically showing you how you'd apply for an apprenticeship with us, with the Growth Company. So I've attached the link there if you do want to make a note of that, the website that we've got there. So if we can just, sorry, click on that link, and Sophie's going to take us to the main page. Brilliant. So what you would do is you'd click on Apprenticeships, which is the first tab at the top. And then you just, obviously where you can see industry, if you just drop down from there, you can see all the sectors. Sorry, if you just click the drop down, sorry, just a little arrow on the right there. I don't think it's working, that's fine, not to worry. So if we do just search all of them, all the apprenticeships that are currently available do all come up. If we can scroll down and have a look, there's lots of different ones there. I think they're all in alphabetical order at the moment as well. So you can see some automotive ones there, you can see some business administration ones there, and so on. So if we just click on any, brilliant. And then it's like you can see, guys, it comes up with the information in terms of the employer and what the weekly salary will be, the hours, you know, the area, the location, postcode, what level it is. So it's saying it's advanced, so it'd be a level 3. If we just click, if we just go down, sorry, it says about this opportunity. So you can have a quick read over here as well before you actually apply, what the employer is asking you for, what a normal day would sort of look like, you know, how you'd be supported. Excuse me, what would happen next, what you should have to apply. Is also even shows you the requirements. Okay, so as you can see here, it's all it's asking for is your maths and English in grade 4 or above. Personal qualities, skills as well. Again, this is what I mean in terms of you'd relate your CV to the vacancy that you were applying for, so you'd go back and you tweak your CV a little bit just to make sure that it was relevant to the job that you were applying for, the vacancy. So if we go back to and click apply at the top, please. So thank you. And then, like I said, it's very basic. So you're just filling in your name, your surname, postcode, your first line of the address. Anywhere where there's a little red star on the left, that means you have to complete it. Your email address, phone number, date of birth, what sort of apprenticeships are you interested in? Again, you can just select, you know, the sector that you're applying for. Framework is obviously, you know, whatever's relevant to the apprenticeship that you're applying for again. Ethnicity, gender, however did you find out about us, you know, wherever it was, school, through a presentation, through a careers fair, whatever it was, what current school, college you're at. And then obviously it's asking if you've got your GCSEs as well, or any medical conditions, disabilities or learning difficulties, etc. Then obviously we put in, it's asking for you to upload your CV. Now, if you don't upload your CV, they're going to take one look at that application and think, you know what, this person wasn't even bothered explaining a little bit about themselves, so no, pass. And you could miss out on a really, really good opportunity. So always make sure you have your CV ready, okay, and you've tweaked it according to the apprenticeship that you're applying for. You can upload that CV and you literally just click submit. Once they get back in contact with you, I'm just going to pass over to Harriet because she is our business advisor, and she's just basically going to explain a little bit in terms of the step of once that application's come through, what then happens in terms of what the resources do, what the BA does, what the employer does, what sort of information gets through to the employer, and how that works, and how we work as the middleman, basically.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So hi guys. Yeah, I just want to talk through with you just the next steps, like she did mention then. So your application, once you send this through, it will come directly to us. So not the employer straight away. We do most of the liaising with the employer. You will be contacted by our recruitment team, who specialises in that area. But we do have main focus recruitment teams for, depending on whether you've applied for engineering, whether it's business administration, so they can give you full support throughout. So the recruitment team will get in contact with you, and they will run through a bit of an interview with you. It's mainly them getting to know you. They're wanting to know, why did you apply for this particular vacancy? What is it about it that you like? What are your hobbies and interests? They want to know the sort of person that you are. As we've been having communication with the employer, we know what they're looking for, what sort of person they want to work in their business, and also we know what the other employees are like to see if you're a good fit for them. We're trying to make that match happen really well, so then you're happy and so is the employer at the end of the day. So really we will be trying to get to know you, trying to find out also why you've actually applied, and also just to make sure that it's the right fit for you. You might have applied for one particular vacancy, or just because you wanted to apply, you just want a job, but really trying to find out whether this is the right career goal and right path for you. So it's mainly just to get to know, and we'll be able to give you advice on whether, if it wasn't the right fit, and say during that conversation we realise, oh, maybe that's not as well suited for you, why don't you try applying for such another vacancy? What about this route instead? It's all making sure that we give you the right support. Once you've done your interview with the recruitment team, they'll also send you out a BKSB. These are initial assessments on your maths and English. Now, even if you've passed your maths GCSE and English, you will still have to do these. It's not long. It's just a basic initial assessment, just so then we can see what level you're currently working at. Reason being, say if it's a candidate who's applied who's not been in school for a while and it's from college, say, they've been away from doing their maths and English for a while now, so their level might not still be the same. So it's just so then we can make sure we give you the full support and the tutors can support you through that. And then what we'll do is, if the recruitment team feel that you are suitable, and they will then end up sending your CV over to the employer, but we'll take off all your personal details, not your name, but just your location and your number, just for your safety. And we will do all of the liaising with the employer, making sure as soon as they find out if you're suitable for the role and they'd like to interview you, we will arrange that, and we will be liaising with yourself and the employer, so we're classed as the middleman to make sure that you feel comfortable all the way through. And then once you are comfortable and you've got your interview with the employer, if all goes well, we will also give you interview prep before your interview as well, to make sure that you feel comfortable and you've run through the company well and you've done your research. If all goes well and you do get the job, I will be coming in to come and help do the sign up, and that is the full process of how it's run. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but don't worry, we are with you every single step of the way. You're not left to your own accord to do it. It's an easy and fun process as well. But I hope that's okay. Is there anything that you guys want to add, if there's anything that I missed?
No, that was really good. A very sort of, clear explanation of what actually happens from the time that you apply up to the end of the job. So thank you for doing that, Harriet. No. Just like Harriet explained, guys, it is a very simple sort of, process. But the time and the effort that goes into it all comes from your CV, from your interview, how you present yourself. And again, like Harriet said, you have our support from day one up to the end. Okay. Even whilst you're on programme, whilst you're working with the employer 4 days, whatever, you're getting your salary, then you come back one day to our training centre to study, or you'd probably even be doing your online learning from home. So you'd be getting a salary from your employer, and then you'd be getting the qualification through us and the support through us. The assessors and the tutors, well, the assessors even do normally pop in. Harriet normally pops in, the business advisors usually pop in to see how you guys are getting on and things like that. So it works. We work as like the middleman for both sides. Okay. So yeah, guys, any questions whatsoever, please, do let us know. But the next steps, literally, if we could just go to the next slide, please, Sophie, thank you so much. So I'd start off by creating a CV. That is something very important. That's the first step of you getting that apprenticeship, because it's the first time the training provider or the employer is going to say, this looks really good, we want to get this person in, it's really well written. Okay, they know what they're talking about, they know why they want to apply. Research your sector. It's important that you go away and you have a look into these apprenticeships, into the study programs, into the traineeships that are out there, and you feel that what's best for you, go for that. Okay, apply for more than one apprenticeship. I always say, it's no experience is a wasted experience. Okay, so applying for 5, going for 3 interviews, getting 1, it's still experience. Okay, it's something that you've gained, it's something that you've learned. You might learn something from one job interview, and then you can use it in your second job interview. Okay, and it's only going to make you more confident. The more interviews you go for, the more jobs that you apply, the more confident you'll become, the more aware that you'll become of what kind of things are expected from yourself. Okay, and then obviously search our apprenticeships using the link below, and obviously like I've just said, just apply and just see how it goes. There's no right or wrong way of doing it, guys. And thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone, that was absolutely brilliant. Really, really informative session. We'll make sure that we kind of keep up to date with all the questions. So if anybody's got any questions at the moment, I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat and see if any have come through. The one question that I had actually, and apologies for putting you kind of on the spot here, is you mentioned there's a number of different, and when you went through the different examples of apprenticeships, what would you say at the moment is the most popular kind of area for young people to go in, to go into in terms of apprenticeships? Is there a specific area, or is it kind of quite broad and across all different sectors?
I wouldn't say that there's a specific area. I would say that whatever you're happy with, go with. I wouldn't say there's a popular area. It's just like if you're applying for college or university, you think what course is running more, like what's more interesting, what are more people doing these days. That there's never like a. It's never like I've never been in that situation where I've known that there's engineering is quite popular at the moment, or automotive is quite popular, or accountancy is quite popular. I think it is just what you want to do as an individual and what route you want to take. But that is a really good question. I don't know. I think the BAs would probably know like how often they get in vacancies, and how often they get in engineering vacancies, and how often they get in accountant vacancies in. I think that, I don't know if Harriet, do you have like your busy periods or your?
Yeah, I'll let Ian speak first because I think he's got something to say, but then I'll be able to speak on the side of the BA point of view of it. Yeah.
Thanks, Harriet. There was some interesting research done about 3 years ago by the Daily Mirror with an Ipsos Mori type company, and they interviewed 100,000 young people aged between the ages of 16 and 19 about what their future career aspirations were. And these weren't just based in Greater Manchester, these were based all over the United Kingdom. And over 20% of those young people said that they wanted to work in either show business or sports and leisure. Basically, they wanted to either be an actor, a musician, a dancer, or a sports star. Though the amount of jobs in the economy in Britain in those types of sectors is actually 2%. So there was a massive mismatch between the aspirations of those young people and the reality of the opportunities. And I think, I don't want to crush anyone's dream, but I think it's, if you are really talented in those areas and you want to that, I think it's always important to have a second string to your bow to it. What I can tell you in terms of the vacancy situation in Greater Manchester at the moment, there are over 50,000 vacancies in Greater Manchester, the vast majority of them in the city of Manchester. And currently the sector showing the most vacancies, not apprenticeship vacancies, but job vacancies, but a number of these will be available through apprenticeships, is the digital and tech sector. There are over 9,000 vacancies in that sector at the moment. The next biggest sectors are actually sales, teaching, which might come as a surprise to some of the people on this call, accounting and finance, and then engineering. But there are opportunities across all other sectors as well. It's not those, but they're the ones who've got the most actual job opportunities at the moment.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that as well, Ian. So I work as a business advisor, like I mentioned, but I'm mainly more focusing on engineering and manufacturing companies. And from working with them, I have noticed that during COVID, because it's such a close contact line of work, they did stop bringing in as many new apprentices, and it did go on a slow burner, and that's just because of the close contact within the workplace. However, now that we're coming out of the other end, as we like to say, hopefully, they will be needing new apprentices through the door, and they have been coming and hitting us, and they are wanting new apprentices, young apprentices, to learn the trade, and they do like somebody straight from school as well, because it's someone who they can mould into the worker that they want. You've not got any bad habits yet. They're wanting to grow that person with their company, and you're there. They see you as their future managers. They'll give you that opportunity to grow up in the ranks. Reason being, in engineering, it's old school. Some people might say there's the older end of the employees, and there's no in between at all, and there's the apprentices, which are new and young. They're needing to get young people in constantly, because people are going to start retiring within these big engineering organisations, so they're needing their new managers to start. So definitely engineering is definitely one of them. Like we say, just peaks and troughs when it comes to the COVID situation, because it is a very close contact work, and bringing in new staff is something that they are definitely wanting to do now. But if there was another outbreak, it could get put on hold again with some companies. So just bear that in mind as you're going along. But yeah, Ian did mention digital is definitely a big one as well. So keep your eye out.
Thanks, both. Sorry, Javarian.
It's okay. We do IT digital marketing. That also falls into one of the sectors that we do cover. Yesterday I did go through the presentation, and we did mention, so if that is a sector that is important to you, or you want to know more about it, the Growth Company does offer that as well. I think Ian's also posted a link in the chat saying that if it's not the Growth Company, but even I think it's for apprenticeships, yeah, from the government website, sorry, so they're just apprenticeships in general as well. So like I said, always apply for more than one. Look at different employers, look at different training providers, see what they've got to offer, and you know, sort of take it from there. But I would say, in terms of, always do what makes you happy. Always go for what you're going to be comfortable doing for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, however long it is. You know, your career is I know it's your career, but it's also something that you've got to enjoy. So I always say, anything that stands out to you, anything that you want, anything that you're reading and you're thinking, yeah, this is something I definitely want to do, whether it's popular or not, you know, look at the job opportunities, fair enough, and then just go for it.
Amazing. That's such empowering advice as well, to be able to say, just, you know, explore what you're interested in, and, you know, kind of, I guess, go where your heart is a little bit. It's really, really important. I was really struck by what you were saying, Ian, in terms of those, you know, kind of where young people's interest lies, where the vacancies are. And as we bring it to a close, I think it's important to mention that alongside the Growth Company's website that we talked you through, there's also GMAX, which is the Greater Manchester Apprenticeship Career Service, and that can really help you as a young person to kind of have a look at what sectors are out there and explore the different skills you have, and kind of match those skills to different career clusters, and then you can start to apply to apprenticeships directly as well. And I think one of the key things, going back to Ian's point, is that a lot of you are saying that you want to be kind of race car drivers, and which is absolutely amazing. But then, you know, the skills that are needed to be kind of race car drivers or kind of, you know, mechanics working with race cars actually relate really, really well to some of the careers that we need young people going into in Greater Manchester. So things like logistics and, you know, we need people who've got an interest in you know, that side of things. So whilst you might have this kind of ideas at the top of your head, there might be other ways that you can, you know, start to explore the different opportunities and different things associated with that career as well. So I'll put the link up onto the screen, but I just wanted to say I think we haven't got any more questions coming through, but we can make sure that we're answering any that haven't been answered kind of as a follow-up. There's a feedback form on that Michaela's kindly put into the chat for any educators on the call. But for me, I'd just like to say a really, really huge thank you to the three speakers. And first, and have to apologise to Harriet. I called you Hannah right at the beginning, so I'm really sorry for that. I'm usually pretty good with names. I knew there was going to be something that went wrong, but so apologies to Harriet. But thank you so much to everyone for sharing. It was a really informative session, really useful, and we've sent out some session cards to the young people, so if you don't have these, then just let us know and we can send them on to your school or college as well. And you can keep up to date with all of the other sessions that we've got. We've got a packed Meet Your Future schedule, so loads more sessions going on this week, and you can see that by going onto our Twitter feed, which is at your GMAX, and our Instagram as well, and hopefully you should be able to see this coming up. And so only just from me now really to say thank you so much to all of our speakers and to everybody dialing in and listening into this really informative session. So once again, thank you all from Ian, Javeria, Harriet and me, and everyone at the Combined Authority for joining in this Meet Your Future session today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophie. Take care.
Thank you, Sophie.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks very much. Bye.